Love should be easy. Why should it not?
All right, here we go. First question is from Matsyendra. I'm not even sure how to say that. Matsyendra? Okay. And it's a basic question, but it's a good question. I was wondering, is des similar to an existence verb? Oh, God, I love this question. Why do I like this question? Because it shows me, and anyone that knows some Japanese, that you're starting to get it. You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Because we had a quiz. We had a quiz in the chat room going on before. We have this new thing. Before every stream, in the Ustream window, a Japanese word pops up or a phrase pops up. You hear the sound, and then you have like 20 seconds, and everyone frantically tries to type what it means. It's a really fun quiz. And one of the phrases that came in, I know made him think this. Des must be an existence verb. Well, let's talk about des. Des means all of these things, okay? Look at it. Before I even say what they are, you need to know something about des. You need to know something about Japanese. In Japanese, a lot of their verbs, every single one of their verbs to be exact, are speaker independent. It doesn't matter, whatever like let's take the verb iku, to go. Iku means I will go. He will go, she will go, we will go, they will go. It all depends on the context. You're not literally saying he or I or we. It's just, it's assumed based on the context. And that's exactly what des does too. And if you look at the meanings of des, you'll see, well, it certainly looks like an existence verb to me, right? It is, I am, he is, she is, they, I couldn't see it. They are and we are, and I'm sure I'm missing some. And by the way, thank you everyone on YouTube for pointing out every single mistake that I make. Thank you. And I really mean that without not a ton of sarcasm, but seriously, thank you, because listen, these are done live. I certainly make mistakes, and if you point them out, it means that someone else will see or not learning correctly, and then I will graciously say thank you very much. And if I'm ever showing you one of our books in the back and you see a mistake in the book, which just happened the other day in a pre-release version of one of the books, I put a graphic into the PowerPoint, and someone's like, hey, that's supposed to say asoko, not ako. And it was absolutely correct. Those mistakes happen. And that person is going to get a free copy of Japanese from 04. If you find a mistake in the book that I haven't previously heard about or corrected, you're going to get a free copy. No charge. I will mail it to you when book 4 is done. Thank you. All right, now, so des. It is really sort of a verb, but it's like no other verb. It doesn't work like a verb at all. Even though it is a verb. It literally is, it is, he is, she is, it's all of those things, right? But it's not a verb because you don't conjugate it like a verb. You don't say deshimasu. You don't say deshimashita. You can say deshita, which means was, I was, right? Deshita, I was, he was, she was, we were, they were. It covers all of those. And in one book I saw, in more than one book I saw this, and I hate this word. I hate this word, but I gotta say it. Des is a copula. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, that really clears it up. Des is a copula, huh? Yeah, copula. C-O-P-U-L-A, yeah. That really helps. Tons of sarcasm involved in that sense. Because what's a copula? You don't know. Just imagine, des means all these things that I just said. That's it, as long as you know that. Now, if you add a ka to the des, it becomes a question. I just want to cover that before we get to the next section. So you add a ka and it becomes, is it? Am I? Is he? Is she? I mean, for example, you're at a party, someone comes up to you and they say, Tanaka-san desu ka? Tanaka-san desu ka? Are you Tanaka-san? Well, I'm not, right? What if he points to a girl at the party and says, Tanaka-san desu ka? Now it means, is she Tanaka-san? Now he points to a boy. Tanaka-san desu ka? Is he Tanaka-san? It's just context at that point. Context teaches you what it means. All right. Now, let's look at this very simple sentence. Chiketto wa nanmai desu ka? This is from book 1, and this was sort of part of the quiz that showed up in the pre-chat, in the pre-stream, I mean. So, chiketto wa nanmai desu ka? Chiketo wa, speaking of tickets, ticket is the thing we're talking about. Nanmai, how many flat objects is what that is. That's the how many counter for flat objects. Mai. Nanmai desu ka? Literally what you're saying is, how many tickets is it? How many tickets is it? Right? But if you're looking at a table, for example, if you're at a movie theater and you walk up to the window and the guy says to you, Chiketo wa nanmai desu ka? It would mean how many tickets is it? It would mean is it there. But if we're counting a bunch of things and we're getting ready for some big convention and I've got a bunch of tickets, I could say, Chiketo wa nanmai desu ka? Now it means, how many tickets are there? You see, the problem is not the Japanese, the problem is the English. The English is changing based on the context, not the Japanese. The Japanese always is, speaking of the tickets, nanmai desu ka? How many are there? Or how many is it? Either way, it's the same thing in Japanese. It's the English that changes. Okay? But you could have this sentence too. You could say, Chiketo wa nanmai arimasu ka? Now, arimasu ka always means how many are there in this case. Chiketo wa nanmai arimasu ka? But if you have both sentences stacked up, if I say to him, if I'm counting those things and then my guy says to me, Chiketo wa nanmai arimasu ka? Or Chiketo wa nanmai desu ka? It means the exact same thing. It does mean how many tickets are there. Now, coincidentally, if I'm at the window of the movie theater, he wouldn't say ever to me, Chiketo wa nanmai arimasu ka? Because then it means how many tickets do I have? It doesn't mean how many tickets is it. That's when desu ka is a little bit more powerful, or a lot more powerful, because you couldn't say arimasu ka. If I said to him, Chiketo wa nanmai arimasu ka? Now I'm being very specific. How many tickets are there? How many do you have? Maybe he's going to sell out before I buy it. That's sort of the difference between what desu and arimasu does. But is desu an existence verb? Sort of, yeah, absolutely. It's used just like it. As I just showed you, it could be exact, because arimasu, aru, is an existence verb, 100%. And desu is doing the exact same thing as that existence verb. Let's look at these two sentences, right? We just talked about them. Chiketo ga 10枚 desu, or chiketo ga 10枚 arimasu. There are 10 tickets. They both mean the same thing in this case. Are they always interchangeable? Absolutely not. Desu can never be do you have, but it can be are there. Thank you. That is an excellent question, and I hope I've cleared it up for you.